Hello, you're watching the Anti-Social Media YouTube channel, and this is a series of videos I make called Gammon Box, where we look at the latest conservative and far-right fails of the week. Sometimes it's a daily event, so there's lots of videos I've produced recently. You join me here in my office, which is the passenger seat of the family car next to a supermarket car park. This video will explore why Prince Philip was such a terrible racist, but also how he was the most woke man Britain has ever seen. So I'm sure to annoy both the right-wing and left-wing people watching this video at the same time. Oh well, shit happens. Now, Prince Philip was a man the right-wing adored because he seemed to be blessed with unlimited free speech. He was free to say whatever he wanted, and if what he said was in any way racist, we just laughed at his comments. Amazingly, that is true, and the British public reacted like this for years and years on end. Over the next few decades, it will be increasingly hard for us to justify our reactions to Philip's comments, but we all reacted the same. Whether we are left-leaning, right-wing or anything in between, we'd all have a giggle when the nation's racist granddad made one of his comments. When people say that cancel culture is out of control, remind them that Prince Philip would call Chinese people slitty-eyed, and it would be reported in every single newspaper the next day, and we sit around pissing ourselves laughing because it was so inappropriate. What will he say next? It seems that if you're part of the royal family, cancel culture simply doesn't apply. You can get away with anything from murdering a princess to being a filthy nonce to being a bigot in public. It seems that if you're part of one particular family, you can do and say whatever you want with no repercussions whatsoever. Not only that, people will pay you millions of pounds per year to do it. And if that's not enough, a large section of the public will mourn you when you die. Now, this sounds like a tongue twister, but it is true. It seems like the royals aren't subject to rules or laws that their subjects are subjected to. The royals rarely seem to be held to account for anything. For example, when the royals are asked to check their privilege, they make their butlers find out the answer. But like I said earlier, the nation mourned Philip's passing, or to clarify, there was a sudden outpouring of love for a man no one has given a shit about for more than half a century, and it seemed that only gammon and old people, which are essentially the same thing, were sad that a prolific racist has died. And I'm sure there's a reason why they were sad, but I guess we'll never know. Now, the outpouring of love for the Duke of Edinburgh is everywhere. Last week I got banned from a Captain Tom tribute group on Facebook when all of a sudden, overnight, it turned into a Prince Philip tribute group. And I got banned for simply asking, what's the link here? Did Captain Tom also fuck his cousin? Prince Philip was well known for decades worth of racist comments, and who knew that a man who fathered a paedophile and married his cousin would turn out to be such a controversial figure? To label Prince Philip's racism as gaffes is quite a stretch. That's like saying white supremacist groups are best known for their hilarious blunders. A gaffe implies Philip didn't say decades worth of racist comments on purpose. Oh dear, I've accidentally called that black gentleman a spear chucker again. That's the third time this happened this week. Oh, what am I like? Philip died on the same day as the rapper DMX. Both were famed for their love of animals. DMX made barking noises in songs, and Philip was an actual dog whistle. But it's not all bad news, because as I mentioned earlier, Prince Philip was indeed the most woke man in British history. First of all, according to The Guardian, Philip was as close to being a feminist as it was possible to be. He did this by, quote, stepping back and allowing the Queen, who technically is a higher rank than the Prince, but never mind, allowing her to do her job without Philip interfering. A job that includes waving, and waving some more, and also going out in public with a face that looks like you've just been told that you've got cancer, or, I don't know, that your son's a paedophile. Just picking a few examples out of the air there. When gammon and royalists hear people call the prince racist, they always respond like Turning Point UK did, by surprisingly telling you how woke the prince really was. Prince Philip literally fought the Nazis and dedicated his life to making the world a better place, they say. I find this defence very strange, because this is a far-right Twitter account declaring that Prince Philip was Antifa. Here's Darren Grimes also confirming that Philip was Antifa, and if all of this is accurate info, then Philip must have really hated his wife's family. Philip is much like Churchill in the sense that both fought fascism but also held many racist or abhorrent views at the same time. They were woke racists, if you like. A side note to gammon, bigots take any opportunity to declare that Antifa are the real fascists. And now that the gammon have learnt that Philip and Winston Churchill are indeed Antifa, you guys may be tempted to label them as the real fascists, even though until today, These are men you claim to love and respect, you stupid cunts. Anyway, let me show you why Antifa are the real fascists is a ridiculous statement. Because what you're saying is anti-fascists are the new fascists. Okay? So we already have traditional fascists. Can we all agree on that? They've been around for quite some time, yes? We do have fascists, yes? And now you're saying that anti-fascists are also fascists too, right? But if both groups are fascists, then everybody in the world must be fascists, because that leaves no non-fascists left. If that's the case, if everyone in the world is fascist, who do we get to fight all of these fucking fascists? It sounds like you haven't thought this through. I'll leave you with this tweet from Turning Point UK, who bucked the trend by saying Philip's gaffes weren't actually gaffes, they were in fact deliberate. Quote, he was willing to say what he thought without self-censoring. He didn't care how the media or the woke mob would react. Well, he should do, seeing as he was woke himself. We should all embody his spirit, end PC culture, say what you think. And this tweet heavily implies that you should be allowed to go around embodying Philip's spirit by calling people slitty-eyed or spear chuckers just like he did. All without any criticism coming from the PC Brigade. But this is flawed because Prince Philip never actually received proper criticism from the PC Brigade, as I've already pointed out earlier in this video. Instead, we laughed along at his racism. He was a silly old man. And if you're a Turning Point UK fan and want to copy Prince Philip, I recommend that you go ahead. Because when you're standing before a judge and he's ignoring you screaming about the PC Brigade and how it's all their fault, you will quickly learn that you're not actually part of the royal family, and therefore not immune to the law. It's almost like it's one rule for one person and another rule for all the rest of us. It's as if they don't give a shit about us, and we shouldn't give a shit about them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Remember, this is from a series of videos I do called Gammon Box. You can see all the other videos of that series by clicking on the links below in the description box, and a few of them will pop up on the screen at the end of this video too. Some of the videos about to fund the BBC, Tommy Robinson, Lawrence Fox's doomed bid to become London Mayor, and my favourite video of the series so far is the most recent one, where I talk about how gammon is not an offensive word. I explain what flag shaggers are and how ridiculous they are, but also for the right-wing people watching, I gave them a very rare example of very funny right-wing comedy at the end of the video, about 5-6 minutes worth of it, from a really good comedian, a conservative comedian. And did they thank me? Were they happy at the end of it? No, all they do is bitch and moan, and I'm so happy that that's their reaction. Stop calling gammon easily offended and like snowflakes, that's not us. Rah! You're really helping your cause there, mate. Do subscribe so you can watch those videos, and until next time, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, laters betas.